and gentlemen, for attending the conference this morning and risking the dreaded COVID virus. Horizon Gold, not to be mistaken for Horizon Minerals, who are around Kalgoorlie. We're up in the Gum Creek Gold Belt, just in between between Meekatharra and Wiluna and Sandstone. Horizon Gold floated in 2016 on the back of some current tenements that were spun out of Panoramic Resources. Obviously Panoramic a bit more interested in nickel than they were in gold. Disclaimers, important notice, you can read at your leisure. This is a compelling gold investment. Over 1 million ounces of historical production from the licences through the Gidgee mill. Current 1.36 million ounce resource at 2.3 grams per tonne on granted mining leases, all pre-native title. 620 square kilometres of exploration ground, all contiguous within the highly prospective Gum Creek Greenstone Belt. 48 brownfields and greenfields exploration targets along a 80-kilometre continuous strike through the middle of the most prospective part of that belt. There's 37 historic open pit and 3 underground gold mines, all with the potential to add significant resources along strike and at depth. Significant existing infrastructure also, mine camp, tailings dam, airstrip, haul roads and the old 600,000 tonne per annum processing plant. Corporate snapshot, we're trading around 50 cents. The share price has had a pretty strong run over the last 12 months. Shares on issue, only 88 million. Market cap is only 44 odd million, which values our ounces at about $33 an ounce. If you have a look at any junior explorer, you'll find their market cap is multiples of that. So I think there's a fair way to go with this share price. Cash, 1.1 million, major shareholder Zeta Resources, who hold 69%. They're fully supportive. And needless to say, the stock is pretty tightly held. Highly experienced board of directors, Peter Sullivan, engineer, MD and CEO of Resolute Mining for over 10 years through their highest production periods. Peter Van and myself, also ex-Resolute Mining, both geologists, over 30 years of exploration and mining experience each, and plenty of corporate and financial firepower with Jamie, Dougal and Trevor. Gum Creek Gold Project, it's one flagship project, all continuous tenements in the centre of a highly productive gold mining district, as you can see there. 1.1 million ounces mined between 1987 and 2005 by a variety of companies, with mining ceasing in 2005 when the gold price was around about $560 per ounce, which is a fair way from where it is now. 5 operating gold processing plants in the region, but our strategy is to build on the current resource and develop a standalone mining operation. Subsequent to Panoramic Resources selling their remaining 20% interest in Horizon in April last year, the new management team instigated a very comprehensive geological review and targeting exercise which identified 48 exploration targets over the continuous 80 kilometres of strike, which you can see there. Those targets are labelled and categorised on that plan. There's 9 high priority drill ready targets at existing mineral resources, 20 targets, drill ready targets at known mineralised areas, 13 advanced exploration targets and 6 greenfields targets with potential for major new discoveries. You can see those regional targets shaded in gold there. 65% of the 56,000 drill holes at Gum Creek are less than 50 metres deep. There's been no significant near mine drilling for around 20 years. So this provides for an outstanding opportunity for increasing that 1.36 million ounce resource. Prospective rocks, prospective structures, good variety of gold mineralisation styles, and plus 40 walk-up targets, drill targets. I've been busier than a one-legged kickboxer over the last couple of months ranking these targets, but like a kid in a candy shop, because there's plenty of them and there's some really good targets there. We don't have time to go through them all, obviously, so I'm just going to have a look at the top sort of 5 resource areas. But I strongly suggest you have a read of our geological review and targeting announcement that we put out on Monday. There's some pretty impressive targets there. Swan Swift resource area. We recently, on Friday, we announced an updated resource. Open cut resource is now 320,000 ounces at 2.4 grams per tonne. The Swan area is a large 1.2 kilometre long, structurally complex mineralised system. It's hosted by dolerites, folded dolerites. There's some, it's only 700 metres from the Gidgee Mill. There's some really high-grade plunging chutes in there that are basically formed at the intersection of several mineralised fault sets that are quartz-filled, and where those fault sets intercept the north-south trending Swan shear zone, which runs along the plane of this long section, that's where the high-grade chutes form. So it's a lot of those high-grade chutes are open at depth, as you can see on that diagram. We're sort of initially focusing on the shallower stuff, so we'll be doing some follow-up drilling on some of the intercepts, such as 15 metres at 2.9, 12 metres at 4.3, 14 metres at 35, and the deeper stuff will come later on. So there's plenty of potential to add further ounces to that resource, and that's what we aim to do. The Swift resource area, this is just 1.2 kilometres from the Gidgee Mill. You can see the pits just in the background image there under that writing. It's also large, 800 metres long, structurally complex, also in folded dolerite host rocks, plunging gold chutes, similar structural controls. So the quartz-filled sort of fault sets where they intercept the Swift shear, which is similar north-south trending in the plane of this long section. So where those mineralised fault sets intersect the shear, that's where you get these high-grade plunging chutes. A lot of these are still open at depth, as you can see with the red arrows, so that's the sort of areas we're going to be focusing on. But once again, we're going to be just focusing on the shallower oxide areas first. And lots of potential to add ounces there as well. Wilson's resource area, it's 390,000 ounces at 5.4 grams at the moment, 15 kilometres north of Gidgee. There's currently three high-grade plunging lodes that are open down plunge. These things form as structural jogs on a dolerite sediment contact, which is basically a shear zone that extends for several kilometres to the north and south. There's some pretty significant historic intercepts, 9 metres at 19, 12 metres at 12, 16 metres at 8.3, and several others on that long section that you can have a look at. Lots of potential to add ounces there as well, along strike as well as at depth. Howard's deposit, currently 200,000 ounces at 1.1 grams per tonne, but the cut-off there is 0.4, so we lift that cut up and lift the grade, obviously. It's 28 kilometres southeast of the Gidgee Mill, currently about 800 metres long, up to 50 metres wide, but it starts at surface. There's some high-grade plunging gold lodes that plunged off to the south there, open at depth. It's just quartz veining in altered basalt. So we're going to just sort of focus on the along strike. There's plenty of potential as well, but we'll focus on those sort of plunging gold lodes to the south there. And plenty of potential to add ounces there as well. Omega and PSI deposits 40 kilometres north of Gidgee. These are high-grade plunging gold lodes in folded banded iron formation, open down plunge. These things form in structural jogs and they sort of run down the parasitic fold axes of the BIF. It's the Omega BIF, it's quite strike extensive. It goes for several kilometres to the north of these deposits. There's been a little bit of drilling and a few hits, so we've just got lots more work to do up there, but immediately we'll have to follow up on these more shallow plunging shoots. Some of the historic underground intercepts below the existing workings, 30 metres at 20, 13 at 10, so there's some pretty good intercepts at depth down there. But once again, we'll probably be just focusing on the shallow oxide stuff. None of this mineralisation is in the current resource, so that's one of our priorities, is to get those resources, that mineralisation in there. Plenty of existing infrastructure, 110-man camp, operating airstrip, tailings facility, a whole network of haul roads, and the old Gidgee processing plant, mill, and all the old mine offices. So 48 exploration targets across 4 categories of advancement. It's an extensive and exciting pipeline of exploration ahead. Just completed the detailed target ranking, which was based on structural style, host rock, but heavily focused on shallow target depth and high gold grade. Preparations are underway for the next drill program. We've already planned quite a lot of that, but we're still going. There's a lot of targets to go through, but we expect to commence drilling in the next quarter. We've secured an RC rig and looking forward to that. Initial drilling, as I've said, will focus on the shallow free milling oxide stuff. So in summary, plus 1.3 million ounces, plus 2 grams per tonne gold resource with heaps of resource upside below, over 30 open pits, standalone development potential, strategic regional asset, surrounded by a lot of processing plants that are pretty hungry, continuous 80-kilometre strike of underexplored, highly prospective greenstone belts, and over 40 targets already identified within that belt. Drilling expected to commence next quarter. Strong board, supportive shareholders. What's not to like? I'll just leave you with our resource table, and yeah, I suggest you just go and buy some Horizon Gold shares. Thanks very much.